dog's bite because that dog was gonna go right along with her if her dog would have bit me. This one right here, it totally blows me. It blows me so much. Hola amigos, me llamo Shwilde. Welcome to this channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some cons, and I'll do another video for the pros of what I love and hate about living in Merida. If you follow me for a while, you already know that I did a pros and cons of living in New Orleans. Check that out if you're interested. Vámonos, let's go. Okay, so before I get started, y'all, make sure you like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, all right? So with that being said, we're gonna get to the first con that drives me insane. The noise, okay? There's so much noise going on. There was a recent article that brought out that there are over 2 million people living in the state of Yucatan, where I am residing, and there are over 2 million dogs. With that being said, that means everybody that lives in the state of Yucatan owns a dog. There's so much barking all through the night, the morning. There's so much bark. That's probably the dog barking right now, but I'm just immune to hearing the sound. I'm just so used to it. And then not to mention about the dogs, y'all. It's like the people on the bicycles blowing the horn. Do y'all hear that? Y'all probably can't hear that. I definitely have noise sensitivity. I will admit that, but this is ridiculous. Now, this is not in all areas of Merida, no, because when I go to visit my friends in Shwilde and Cancal and like the outskirts of Merida, it's not like that. It's so peaceful and quiet. There's not a lot of people trying to sell you stuff on the bike. You still hear dogs. The dogs are inedible. But nonetheless, the loud noises is going to have to take the first one for me, and I said it, all right. Speaking of noise, it be the noise like that, like everybody car, I ain't gonna say everybody, I'm gonna say a lot of people cars here are like, I don't know if they like broken and they still ride the cars, but like the cars, these are regular cars. They sound like motorcycles, that part. Next thing is the mail system. The mail system here kind of like sucks, all right? And then on top of that, y'all, that heard some stories about the mailing system. Like all of the mail in Mexico, at least in Merida, or where I am, goes through or is based, and it comes from Mexico City. All right, in Mexico City, they have all these different stipulations about what you cannot and cannot ship to another country. They always, I guess they're worried about if it's like there's drugs or something being imported. And if you're planning on sending like a bunch of products or anything like that, like if, you know, say you have a store and you're trying to ship your products to Mexico, you're gonna need a license for that. All right, so just be aware of that. They will ask you for a license if you're planning on shipping something in bulk, especially if it's new. They will ask you for a license to pick those items up. And what they do basically, if you don't pick it up, you're not able to pick it up, I don't know, maybe charge you a whole bunch of money or something like that. I really don't have personal experience with that, but I've heard a bunch of stories about like when people try to ship things back from the USA to Mexico and how difficult it can be. They recommend you to get like, I don't got the particular technical word, but like just basically pay somebody that is already a resident here in Mexico, pay them to go get your stuff and ship and bring your stuff via the border, crossing through the border, and then like delivering it directly to you. That's the best way, because shipping, you may not get it, then you may get it, you never know, or you may have to pay a bunch of money in order to receive your items. And you may need a license if they suspect that you're trying to sell items here in Mexico, but they do not want foreigners to do that. All right, so the mail system here sucks. I've had an Amazon package that arrived when it said it was going to arrive. I had packages that came from AliExpress that actually arrived on time, but then there are some items that just doesn't arrive. There's no such thing as Amazon Prime here. Let me just let you know that right now. So I canceled my Amazon Prime. It doesn't even make sense to have it here, because there's no such thing as 1 day, 2 day, 3 day shipping here. It's like, it's 15 days max, it's 2 weeks max. Let me just quickly talk about the mechanism that they use in order for you to get your packages. Now, okay, I'm talking about 2 scenarios real quick. One, I had ordered some food from a local restaurant here in, Viva with that. And so I'm like, okay, waiting, but luckily I keep my windows open so I can hear a lot of things. And so the guy just yelling, and I'm like, what the hell? So Spirit, kind of thought, you know, it alerted me to, you know, go outside and check and see. And I'm like, I see a guy on a motorcycle. He just like riding around in circles. And I'm like, just keep going. And I'm like, what is wrong with him? You know? And I'm like, oh shit, that's my food or whatever. Because they don't have uniforms on. You know how Papa John's and everybody else, they got their special uniform on. The rabbit guys, they got their little rabbit. This is a local restaurant, so they didn't have all of that. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, oh, that's my food, that's my pizza. I see a pizza box on the back of the motorcycle. I'm like, if it wasn't for me just being observant and using my discernment, I would have never gotten my pizza. So he just yelled up, like, I mean, they didn't call me or anything. And then like my Amazon package, they would not like knock on a door, because I live on the second floor. They didn't knock on a door. I don't have a doorbell or anything, but they just like yell. And I'm like, oh, I thought they would have called because they have my number. Like, I just, I thought they would have called me instead of like yelling upstairs, but they yelled. That's how you get your packages. You have to listen out for them. I just think it makes more sense to just call me. So let's talk about the people. So that's good and bad people wherever you go. It's inevitable. That's just life. That's how it is. So let's start off talking about the bad people. Now the bad people that I experienced, like people just like looking at you, staring at you. You can always feel the energy. You can always tell what they're thinking. Like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Type of thing or whatever. But you know, sorry, not sorry. But that's pretty much like all the bad. And then like I feel like some of the people like there's no way I can hide. Like some white people can do that. They can hide under the fact that they're pale skinned because they are pale skinned Mexicans. And so like if their Spanish is really good, they can really hide and pretend that they're a Latino. But there's no way I can pretend to be a Latino. It's obviously, unless I'm Afro-Latino, but then there's just no way. It's obvious that I'm Americano, obviously. So I feel like sometimes when I go to the store, like these little mom and pop shops, I feel like the locals pay a certain price and I pay a little bit more. That's just not what all places. And the places that I do realize that I stop going to them because I don't really appreciate that. Even though it's not a lot, I just personally do not like to be cheated. Like I just don't. So I just go to somebody else if I figure out. If I sense that you're trying to charge me more just because I'm American, I will not go to you and I will not support you at all. Period. Anyway, that's like the bad thing. Like, you know, you may encounter some people like that. And like last week, there's like this lady, she like put out all her dogs. She had like 8 dogs. Like she just like let the dogs go and they all ran to me and I'm just looking like, I'm not one of them. I don't know if that was deliberately. I don't know if that was on purpose because sometimes they do stuff and you don't know because like we have cultural differences. They don't realize that what they do sometimes is offensive and vice versa. But I was like, okay, she didn't even say sorry or nothing. Right now, I'm just sitting there. I want the dog to bite because that dog was gonna go right along with her if her dog would have been. Dogs, the dogs will be everywhere. If you do not like animals or dogs, do not come here because this is not your place. All right. I don't have a problem with dogs. I don't have a problem with animals. You will see a lot of stray dogs. You will see dogs in the mall. In certain malls, the dogs are allowed to go in, which is crazy, right? Like that's crazy because in the USA you only see like service dogs or whatever in public places, but nah, there are certain places in here in Mexico where you can bring your dogs and just let them be free. I feed some of the stray cats. They come to my door all the time looking for food. I don't have a problem with animals or whatever. I feel like the dogs here are not as mean as the dogs in the USA. I'm not afraid of them at all. They'll come up to you, whatever, and they'll bark, and I just, you know, I ate at them, and they back off. They're pretty scary. They're not like them dogs in the USA. The dogs in the USA will bite you back and fight you back. These dogs out here are not like those types of dogs, all right? So just to let you know, a lot of them will bark at you, but they won't really harm you. I haven't had that type of experience here thus far, so I'm not anticipating none of it either. But the dogs here are pretty scary, so you shouldn't have that problem. So I don't know if that lady like left her dogs out on purpose, or I don't know. No say. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it because her dogs come out about. I'm gonna just walk that way again, and she let them dogs out. I'm gonna look at her face and try to see what she's thinking about, because the least she could have did was been like, lo siento, or something, because she just had her dogs to put her dogs out. I felt like I was being attacked. I hate the fact that sometimes I can't speak Spanish. Let me stop saying I can't speak Spanish. My Espanol is no bueno. It's no bueno. And I try to take the time every day to learn Spanish, but I just feel like I be having so many things to do. Like, work, I edit, I do, you know, a lot of content creating and stuff, and I'm setting up projects, and it's like, oh my God, but I still have to take the time to get to learn Spanish, even if it's 10 minutes a day. And one thing that definitely does help me with my Spanish is having Mexican friends, like, you know, especially those individuals who want to learn English. We always exchange information, but it's still not good enough, okay? I wish there was just like some type of program where I can get inserted in my brain where, oh, bam, now you know Spanish, bam. Like the easy button, you know what I'm talking about? I wish that because sometimes it's difficult. It would be nice to know like what people are saying instead of just like knowing a few words or out of the sentences that they're saying. Sometimes it can be very frustrating, but I mean, that's my decision. I decided to move to a Spanish speaking country, predominantly Spanish speaking country. Yes, there are individuals here who do speak English, but to me, it's just not good enough. Like I need to learn Spanish. Okay, another thing is that sometimes my phone does not work. That's why I recommend you guys in the last video to, if you didn't watch that video, what are you doing? Well, watch that video after you watch this one about the apps that you need to have when you're moving to Mexico. Now, one of the apps I mentioned is the WhatsApp. Okay, this is important to have, especially if you want to keep in contact with people. You need that direct contact, that instant contact. My phone doesn't always receive, and I have like a really, really good phone in a really, really good company. And the company's also here based, right? AT&T is based here, so that's who I'm with. And sometimes like my phone switched to 5G to 3G depending on where I am in Mexico, and that makes my internet act a little crazy, and it makes me receiving and making calls back and forth to the US here a little difficult. So that's why I recommend the WhatsApp. So watch that video, you'll see the card pop up there. And yeah, I recommend you to use that, but sometimes the phone does not work as I anticipate it to work. Now the internet is good, but that's gonna be in the pros video though. So anyway, back to the con. Okay, one thing that just like, oh my God, it totally blows me. This one right here, it totally blows me. It blows me so much. Like a lot of people, a lot of yucateos, their diet consists of pig, bread, tortillas, totopos, and beef. I don't eat that stuff, and chicken. I'll eat chicken un poco, just a little bit. But mostly my diet is pescatarian based, and it's like so difficult sometimes. And you would think because we're surrounded by water that the fish would be like the main thing that the yucateos eat, but no. Because when it comes down to after like hours trying to find the seafood place after hours, I feel like there's never a place. That's why I'm always cooking at home, because it's like, okay, I'm the type of person that like, if I'm not hungry, I don't like to eat. I don't want to be forced to eat something just because the store's about to close or the restaurant's about to close. So it's like, it's problems like that. Like, they don't eat how I eat. So that's my problem once again, but that just absolutely blows me. So if you're a vegan, if you have special diet restrictions, just know that it's going to be challenging for you. It's not going to be impossible, but it will be challenging for you to find the particular foods that you need for your diet, because they just don't eat like us. They eat a lot of beef, meat, and bread, okay? And as far as like vegedulas and vegetables, vegetables, you will be able to find fruit and vegetables, but it's like a matter of you finding what places are up to your standard, like what places have good quality vegetables and fruit. Because for me, it's going to be like the grocery stores. It's not like really, I haven't found any mom and pop shop like or a personal store, fruiteria, that sells like quality fruits and vegetables thus far. But I find that going to like the supermarket, Super Aquí, and places like that, like Super Aquí and Sonora, is it Sonora? I think I'm pronouncing it right. And like those super little mini supermarkets, they have like the best quality fruits and vegetables to me. And so that's pretty much where I go to go get myself, because I notice like whenever I go get fruits and vegetables from like the mom and pop shops, that they're not as fresh, they're not as of quality or whatever. They were just trying to sell you something. But what they be missing about business is that you have to keep people coming back for more. So they don't get that concept here. They don't care. They'll just sell anything to you. So you're just gonna buy from random people, because this lady sells a whole bag of oranges for 30 pesos, right? This is only oranges. I'll be able to squeeze out of there. About the water, that's one thing that kind of blows me here, because no, you cannot drink the tap water here, but that's okay. I just want to throw that out there for you, because maybe you drink your tap water from where you're from. I don't personally drink the tap water. I didn't do it in the States and I don't do it here. There's a few theories behind why people do not drink the water here. One theory is that the water is over mineralized. Another theory is that the water tanks and the pipes are unsanitary in itself. And another reason is that the water sanitation practices are not up to par. The water it doesn't get as clean as it would get in the US. But I digress from that theory because you know why? In the US, like I said, I did not drink the water at all. I did not drink the tap water. I didn't cook with the tap water in the US because the water in the waters in Louisiana wasn't safe to drink either. So I'm just used to that. But that's probably going to be a con for some people who, but it's not a con for me because I'm used to not drinking tap water anyway. But I tell you though, the shower water, like brushing my teeth with it, it's okay. And I feel like the water is clean. Like just observing it from an outsider. I don't have a microscope or anything like that, but just observing it from that perspective, I feel like it's really clean. I don't know. But I still don't drink it though. When I talk about the water, well, I definitely want to mention about the water pressure now because of that theory of like the water being over mineralized. It is a theory. I said a theory that it causes the water sometimes it blocks the water in the pipes from getting through, and sometimes you may experience like low water pressure in your house, and it's probably because of the mineral buildup. Culture here is like, it is so laid back. Now this is something that people don't talk about. It's like, it's hard to get work done. I be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, that, and that, and that. And all I be wanna do is sleep. Like, I don't know, cause like everybody around, I don't know, it's just like this laid back culture here. Like, I just be want to sleep and rest all the time. But I be having to work and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But it's a laid back culture. Okay, I'm the type of girl, I'm like, I'll sit inside my house all day until somebody invites me out. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go. But other than that, it doesn't really bother me to be here. It's just so laid back wherever you go. Like if you're hiring somebody to do a job, like you'll notice that they are not like on time. Everything is like late. You definitely don't want to have plans here. All right, the plan is that you have no plan. You notice that that's my slogan, and it fits right. I fit right in with that because here in Maryland you cannot have plans and expect those plans to go on plan. You will be frustrated and aggravated every time. I promise you will be. Okay, like I was planning on making some ceviche. Couldn't do that. Why? Because the store is closed for no freaking reason in the middle of the day on a Thursday. I'm like, what's going on? They got a holiday. Sometimes they have holidays that I don't even know about that they celebrate. There's so many festivals going on and men parties and things like that going on here that I don't know about. And then it's like, I don't know. Like if they decide to like, oh, let's close the store. They close the store. There's no hours located on none of the stores. So you don't know when they're going to open. You don't know. But the best, I would say the best thing for you to do, though, if you don't know any hours, just go in the morning. Go at 8, 9, 10, 11, or whatever. Those are the hours of the morning, right? So just go in the morning. But sometimes they're not open. You don't know when they're open because there's no hours listed on it. Most, like, I'm going to just be honest, like most of the restaurants, most of the businesses here do not have hours outside their door. Because they make their own hours. If they feel like today I'm not working, I'm not working. I swear, like that's just how it is. They barely have their phone numbers on their buildings, and which is weird because in the USA that is one way you keep customers. But I don't know. I don't know. They're different. They're laid back. They're just like, we don't care about your money here. We don't care. It's like family first here. So they don't really care about that type of stuff. It's like, so, but yeah. So the plan is you shouldn't have plans. Like I'm telling you, there's so many days I'm like, okay, right, because today it's about to rain. It's about to rain right now. And I was supposed to go take some photo shoots. I had it all planned out. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I got the outfit planned out. And then Friday hits and it's like, oh, it's about to rain. So now I can't do that. So it's like, you can't have plans here. Like, and then you can't be disappointed if your plans don't go on plan. Like you planned, because you will be disappointed every time. I don't know what it is about here, but it's just like you have to just like roll with the punches. Like I do hair, I braid hair too, so it's like a lot of times we don't have what we need. We just do what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But we can't get mad at the fact that we don't have what we supposed to have. We're not in the States because we can't access certain things. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you need your hair braided, get at me. Comment down below. Hit me up in the email or whatever. But yeah, It's just crazy. It's crazy in itself to just know that. And another thing is, I also have a great skill of cooking. I love to cook. It's one of my passions. Now in the States, I would bake cookies. I would bake like my homemade pizzas. I would bake, dishes and bake some. I used to love making some vegetables and taking some shrimp and just throwing it in the oven, and bam. I have to slave over a stove or anything like that. I can't do that here because there's no ovens here. I'm gonna just say this, like most homes and apartments do not come with ovens. Mine doesn't. Yes, you can buy a conventional oven, but just be aware of that when you're coming down here. And speaking of not having that, you have to light the stove manually, like literally every time. It doesn't blow me, but it might blow you. I just have to let you know because y'all my friends or whatever. But yeah, just be aware of that. It's gonna be difficult for you to find seasonings and certain items that you're used to cooking, especially if you're a big cook. Like if you want a Chef Boyardee level, like certain things you just will have to bring from the States. They don't have what you're used to cooking with back in the States. You have to bring your stuff. Or you have to bring it in, and all the imported items will cost you more than it will cost you in the States. All right, just be mindful of that. So if you're like me, you have a sweet tooth, you love baked goods and stuff like donuts and pastries, yeah, you'll be disappointed. When I first came out here, I was on a cycle and on this TMI, but I was craving something really, really sweet. I didn't want anything that was processed. I wanted something that was freshly baked or whatever. So I was like, okay, let me go get me a donut. So Walmart has this this baked goods section. They do pastries, cookies, and they have donuts and stuff like that. So I walked up to a donut and it was this glazed maple donut, and they had chocolate donuts, and then they had the white chocolate donuts. And I'm like, okay, well yeah, let me get all three of them, especially the maple ones. I was like, oh, they look good. It was glazed and it was hot. I was like, okay, let me get this donut. I got home, I bit the donut, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This is not a donut. This is bread. I'm eating bread. I'm eating sweet bread, but this is not a donut, okay? So here they do not put a lot of sugar in their pastries. And I've heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, I heard through the grapevine that it was because the government likes to, I ain't gonna say control the people, but the government just want, they're looking out for the people, because a lot of people here are heavily obese. Like I told y'all earlier, their diet consists of a lot of bread, beef, chicken, pork. They don't really eat a lot of vegetables here or fruit. They probably drink a lot of fruit or eat a lot of fruit, but they don't really do a lot of vegetables here. So people here are obese and what's the other word? Obese and overweight, okay? So with that being said, the government kind of put a little, I don't know if it's a law or whatever, or it's a regulation that a lot of the bakeries or chain food stores like that have to follow. They have to put a certain amount of sugar in their food. Now, however, I will go to a certain location of Walmart, at certain bakeries, at certain locations though, they will not have sweet donuts, but then certain locations will. So it's I don't know. But I found my cake. I know where to get my sweets from now. I know what locations to go to. I know who to go to. Because there's a girl who sells baked goods too. American style. I'll leave her information in the description box down below where you can get some sweet baked goods, because I'm telling you, it was a challenge. I wasted so much money trying to find something sweet to eat. All right, let's talk about the weather. Now, I am from New Orleans, Louisiana. If you know, you've already seen the content and stuff, but if you've been to New Orleans, it's hot there. So I'm trying to figure out if it's hotter here in Mexico or in New Orleans. I don't know yet, but I'm used to the heat. It is very hot here, as it is very hot in New Orleans. But right now, I feel like the nights here are more cold. I feel like the 70s could be in the 70s or the 60s. To me, it feels like I'm in the 40s. I don't know. Bring a jacket here because you'll need it. And that was one thing I was trying to contemplate. Do I need a jacket here? Yeah, you do. Maybe a light cardigan or something like that. But yeah, it's hot here in the daytime. It is hot. I haven't yet experienced the summer here, but I will definitely update you guys as I experienced the summer here. I came in the middle of the fall season, so the weather hasn't been too bad yet. I don't even run my AC. I run I have the fan sometimes, and I'll open up my windows. I don't even do all of that. But when it's summertime, there may be a whole different scenario I may be telling y'all. So nothing prepared me for the nights though here in Maryland. It's cold. Like nothing. I thought it was gonna be hot all the time, you know, sunny days, and nobody told me this. So that's why I'm telling y'all, yeah, you're gonna need a light cardigan or a jacket or something like that for the nights. If you, I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be cold here, and good thing I have like one jacket here. But if I didn't have that one jacket, I would be like doomed. Okay, guys. So with that being said, that is pretty much it. Make sure you like this video, comment down below, share it with your friends and family. You know, maybe going to visit Mexico, or you know, move to Mexico soon. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel because that's really gosh, it's free. And I will see you guys in the next one. The Mexican people, to me, they're like black people. They're just like black people. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. They're no different.